Hi and welcome to My Ordinary Life, the podcast which offers you a rare invitation to hear life from a different perspective. I'm your host, Gillian Allen, and each episode I'll be having conversations with some fascinating people who have one thing in common. They all have a learning disability. We'll be hearing about the joys, the challenges, and trying to answer the question, what part can I play in everyone having an ordinary life? Hi and welcome to My Ordinary Life. I'm your host, Gillian Allen, and I am delighted to introduce you to Diane, who's come to see us today. Hi Diane, how are you?
I'm all right, yeah.
Well, it is lovely to have you with us, and I'm so looking forward to hearing more about your life. And I know you've been up to some really interesting things recently, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of the self-advocacy work that you've been doing.
So I go and talk to students who would like to be a social worker. So basically it means, because I'm a mum and I've got a son who's got autism, he got put into care. So it just means that if other parents don't have the bad experience that we have, social workers will know what to do with people with learning disability.
That sounds like really important work. So do you actually go, is it so the student social workers who you speak to?
It's people who want to be a social worker. So basically they could just be in their first, second year of trying to be a social worker. But if it wasn't for us going there and telling them how they should treat us, then they won't know.
You're absolutely right. I know for myself, so my children both have a learning disability, and there's so much stuff that I've learned from them and learnt about how life is for them that I didn't know before.
No.
So I think the fact that you're going out there and speaking to people, it's just going to open their eyes, isn't it? How did you get into doing that?
So basically I went to a mum's group, and it was not long after Zachary got put into care. And it was a tough time.
I can imagine.
And I had been there been going to the mums for a long time. And Joanna and other members of said, I think you would be good going speaking to social workers. So, well, student social workers, so I did. I rang up there and told them. We have had the odd, students saying, you must have got to a coffee for a reason. And that really I was annoyed.
I bet.
But normally all of them are quite good.
Yeah. You feel they're listening?
I don't know if they're listening. So it's hard to know if what we are telling them, are they going to follow it?
But it's amazing that you're trying, isn't it? You know, that you are trying to educate them in the hope that you can make them see a bit more clearly what the situation is. No, I think that's incredible what you're doing. Is it difficult to go and tell your story?
It's not so difficult. One time I used to cry quite a lot. But now it makes you stronger.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Skills for People in Joanna, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. Right. If you asked me to do this a few years ago, I probably would have said no.
But you're obviously really good at talking. I can hear that now. Is it, when you first started, was it hard? Do you feel you've gotten better, or? It
was hard, and it wasn't an easy subject.
I can imagine, because obviously that's such an upsetting thing for you to think about. But it's so generous of you to share your story with other people so that you can help people.
Well, it's not just about them seeing me singing in a bad way. We just want them to understand that social workers are not perfect people.
Nobody's perfect.
They can be very abrupt towards people with learning disability. And I suppose police can be as well. It could be anybody.
Right.
So I think it's just people like me about people with learning difficulties go out there and tell them. Because if we don't, they won't know.
Well, that's right, because we were saying before, weren't we?
Yeah.
I know you were saying you've done some work with the police around hate crime. Would you tell us a little bit about that, please?
So basically, me and Stuart did a workshop around going into schools and telling them about hate crime. And it's just about the kids being aware of people with learning difficulties are more easily targeted than everyone else probably is targeted. But it's because we are vulnerable, we are more at risk of being hurt than anybody else.
And what's it like if you go into a school? How is it with the young people? Do you think they're paying attention and listening?
One time I did it, we had 5 sessions on one day. And there was a group, I think there were about 3 up to 4, maybe it's a bit younger. We had to choose the whole thing in about 1 second. And just think what that was like.
Yeah, so stressful.
Yes. Wow. But we weren't stressed, we were quite calm and relaxed about it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know how much they understand. Really hard.
Yeah, but I think it's really important that you go out there and do that though, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. I know I was saying to you about my Evie, being out on the metro and some young people. Luckily she was there with 2 PAs, 2 carers with her, because she is really vulnerable. But a group of teenagers came and tormented her and shouted and, really upset her.
Were they just being really nasty, or were they taking the fun of it? Because some can come up to you and laugh and just be joking on, but then they can get to be really, really...
They were quite nasty. So Evie makes a lot of noises and things. She can talk a little bit, but she just likes to make noises with her voice. And so they were mimicking her and laughing at her and shouting at her. It was really upsetting for her. And at the time I just thought, why on earth have they done that? I couldn't understand. And it makes me feel so grateful to you, because someone like you going out to a school and explaining to young people about the fact that actually everyone should be treated with kindness and respect, that might change someone's mind, mightn't it? And change how someone behaves.
It will with some people, because some people can be quite ignorant and think they can get away with it. But I think what might have to happen is your daughter being stronger and saying, look, leave me alone when she can. Or someone with that saying...
But I'm just so pleased to hear that you're actually out there trying to make things better for that kind of situation.
And I think there should be more work done around people with learning difficulties, definitely with hate crime.
Really?
Because it's getting higher.
Is it?
Yeah. It's risen quite a bit.
And why do you think that is?
It's because people just don't know how to stop it. And when somebody's really got really sick, like really bad learning difficulties, they then find it hard to say, leave me alone.
Yeah.
When you've got some people who probably could say, leave me alone.
And what should people do? Because I know I was saying about my Evie, and she was there on the metro and there were lots of other people around, but nobody did anything at all. What would you like to see people doing to help?
I think people should go up to them and say, like, have you got any respect? This person's got a learning disability and you're standing there laughing. But then again, the people on the metro should have done something at the same time.
And you were saying about you've been doing this. Is it Take the Lead?
So basically, Inclusion Love did courses.
All right.
And this course was about taking the lead. So it's about being on the board kind of thing, but I'm already on the board.
Are you? I didn't know that.
Well, I'm on the board with Skills for People. So it's like being a chairperson, you sit there and you tell them what you want to do. taking the lead is about being able to have confidence. So basically, being able to understand confidence, so going up there and telling people what you want. So just say your daughter was fully confident and she could do that, then she would be confident to say to these people, please don't speak to me like that. And it's about us then saying, we are just human like everybody else. And we are. We're just slow doing things. It's not about them.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think people don't always know that, which is why the kind of work you do where you're going out, you're talking to people, you're saying, we are human beings. Yes, sometimes we might do things differently, but we should be treated with the same respect and kindness as everybody else.
As everybody else. And that's why I said to you, I do not class myself as a person with a learning disability because I don't like people knowing I've got one.
Right. And why don't you like people knowing that you've got a learning disability?
I just don't want them to think I'm slow doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like people saying that.
So you feel like if people hear that, then they're going to judge you?
Yeah, basically.
Which is a shame, isn't it? People could be a bit more open-minded, maybe.
So because I did level 1, level 2, level 3, Inclusion North offered us to give some work for them.
Oh, wow, amazing.
So basically, they do slides and they want me to change them slides into an easier way for so when other people coming in to do the course, they know what to do.
And that's a lot of responsibility for you, isn't it? Changing how the course is put out there.
But I've passed every single one of them.
Well, I can see you're so confident and so good at expressing yourself that I'm not surprised they've chosen you for that work. Well, I'm not. I think you'd be great at it. And I also happen to know that you were co-chairing a conference very recently.
Yeah, so on Friday, Joanna asked us if I did it. And I went, okay. This is before Joanna had left. And I went and there was just lots of people. It was about over 100.
Wow.
And I've never talked to someone over that many people.
Yeah, that is a bit scary.
That is a bit scary. But it was all right. It was all about relationships.
Right.
So some people with a learning disability would go have a relationship with someone, but then find out they've took advantage of them and not realising. So basically that would mean that anything could happen.
Yeah.
And it's about finding ways of doing things safely.
That sounds so important. So important.
And we just want people to be aware.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen? So you did the conference, people came along and talked through some of the issues? Or?
So basically what happened is they were then trying to change it.
Brilliant.
So we'll just see what the outcome is. But yeah.
And do you feel quite hopeful that things will change?
They've been saying it for years.
Oh.
So.
But I suppose every little bit helps, and it's great that you're putting the work in and trying to make things change, aren't you? Yeah. So you seem really great at speaking up for people who have learning disabilities. If people were listening to the podcast and if there was a message that you could give them, if there was something you could tell them that you think would make life better for people with learning disabilities.
Just accept that you've got a learning disability and you follow your footsteps.
Right.
So you can do, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And if you don't follow your footsteps, you never be able to do it. But you know what it is? That's only because it's good for people, inclusion or. They've gotten me to this stage, so I would thank them.
So, and what difference has that made? So being involved with skills through like Geordie Mams and things and being involved with Inclusion North, how has that helped?
They believe that I can do stuff.
Right.
But I didn't believe it. But it's just about me proving people wrong.
Yeah.
And I have proved people wrong.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not surprised they believe in you. And if they've believed in you, do you believe in yourself?
No, I do. I never used to.
Yeah, that's amazing. You've done so many things in your life. I know there'll be people listening who might be facing some hard times or might have a lot going on. Do you have any advice about how to keep going, how to pick yourself up, how to live a good life?
Basically, just have energy.
Right.
It's all about energy. Mm-hmm. Get up in the morning, maybe do some exercises or whatever. Go for a walk, clear your mind. Have that energy to go and do something. Don't just sit around being, because it just won't help.
Right. So you think just getting up, getting out there?
Yeah, just getting out there.
Good advice. Really good advice.
Go and find something interesting to do.
So I'm so impressed with all the work that you do, with all of the stuff that you've got going on. What do you feel really proud of?
Having the chance to do things.
Yeah.
Basically, all my life I've been put down.
Really?
Saying I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, I couldn't do that. So if it wasn't for skills for people, inclusion or and maybe yous as well, saying I can't do something, I've proved people wrong.
You've absolutely proved people wrong. You clearly can do something. You know, you can do lots of things. And I think you're obviously making a huge difference to people's lives and to how people think about people with learning disability. So 100%.
I think people with learning disabilities is a strong thing for me and for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have someone like me telling them how to stay and believe in yourself, they probably wouldn't be able to do it.
No, I completely agree. And I think, right, you know, when my kids are older, I would love them to come on the same sort of courses as you've done and to get that same benefit that you've had. And as I was saying before, as a mum, I just really feel grateful for people like you who are out there working hard, making things different, because that benefits my kids. So thank you.
It benefits a lot of people.
Yeah.
People just gotta realise.
No, but you're helping them see. Have you, the different groups and things that you're part of, have you been able to make friends through those groups?
Yeah.
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 Because I think that's an important thing to have, I suppose, other people in your life to do things with and spend time with. Thank you so much for coming here today, Diane.
Okay.
I have absolutely loved having a conversation with you. So nice to meet you. Mm-hmm. And yes, just thank you very much for sharing your life with us. If you enjoyed this episode and are feeling very kind, please rate, review and subscribe, and be sure to tell your family and friends to have a listen too. And if you'd like to share your ordinary life with us, we would love to hear from you. You can find us on social media at Ordinary Life 66. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to catch up with you again soon.